Morning, Saloni. How are you? Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello?
Can we start?
Sure.
So as I told the other day, we'll be starting with service catalog today. So let's see from the end user perspective what it is, and then we'll see from the developer perspective how to design the same. Okay.
Okay.
So let me start with service catalog. So as an end user, let's say I'm a new joining to the organization. Obviously, I need some services to be provided to me. Maybe a laptop, maybe the BlackBerry phone so that I can make the official calls, or maybe some softwares to be installed on my laptop or something of that sort, correct?
Right.
So in these kind of scenarios, what you need to do is you need to make a request for getting any particular service offering to be provided to you. And obviously, there can be a predefined setup. It doesn't mean that only at the time of newly joining the organization you will request for it. Maybe as part of your job you need, let's say, Microsoft Excel to be installed for you or any other service, whatever it is. So later on also you can request for a service. So now, your service, for requesting any kind of service, what you will do, you will use something called service catalog. So what you will do as an end user, you will type service catalog in the left navigation. So as an end user, you will only be able to see the choices under self-service. If you are a customer, if you are an end user, so this header, if you'll see, if I click on it, self-service catalog is coming under it. If I click on it, it will be hidden. If I click on it again, it will be expanded for me. So anything which is a header is called application within ServiceNow, and anything coming under it is called a module in it. So self-service is an application and service catalog is a module under it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's see as end user what will I do. I'll go to service catalog over here. So this is the landing page where it is bringing me. So you can see it over here. It is having all the categorization of the services over here. As in, let's say, if you have to request for hardware, you will go to the hardware category, software, then software category, so on and so forth. So the categorization of the services has been done on this particular page so that the product can deliver to you in a better way. Much better understanding is there with the end user or the customers. So that's why you will see many a time that categorization is there on the catalog page.
Okay. And can this categorization be added onto, or like can we add more stuff here in categories or no?
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
You can even create more categories when you want.
Okay. Got it. Thanks.
So also you can see top request is coming, which does nothing but which shows what are the services which you are using very frequently. Based on that, it shows you the top requests over here. Means people are mostly using these services. So this top request shows what the services are the most frequently used. Based on that, the top request gets displayed it over here.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see the next one over here. So now let's say I select one service out of it. Suppose I'm selecting Apple iPhone 5 for example. So what you can see it over here is, let's try to understand this page in detail. So this is your service short description.
Okay.
Obviously there is a picture of the service so that user gets more understandability that how the product will look it to him. So that is over here. Next is what? Next is the description. This part is the description of the service. It describes what the specification is there in the product, so on and so forth. Okay, what is next over here? Also many times, for example, let's say I'm going to buy a shoe for me from Amazon or any other website, what we see it over there that they're asking some specifications for you, right?
Right.
So some specification you let them know so that the product can be provided to you in a much better way.
Okay.
Correct? So again you can see it over here. Similar is the case, like in your shoe case you select the size of the shoes, the color of the shoes. Similar is the case over here. That is, let's say if the product is iPhone, you can select what should be the color, what should be the storage size, and so on and so forth, so that the product specification is more clear to the end user. The end user customer is providing the actual requirement what they are looking it for in the system.
Makes sense.
Okay. So now as an end user, what will I do? So I'll fill all the specifications, whatever I'm looking for. And you can see in this particular specification, you can see in the bracket, there is add $1 monthly, and blah blah. So this one helps to let you know that if you are selecting 500 MB, extra cost will be involved. If you select unlimited, and then another extra cost will be involved, and if you don't specify another thing, then the price will decrease accordingly.
Okay.
Who is paying the price over here? You are not paying the price over here. It is only for the understanding purpose.
Okay.
That is, suppose there are different departments in your organization, maybe HR department, maybe a finance department. So just to track that which department is holding asset of how much cost, so that's why the price is over here, so that when you request for some service, you are able to see that, okay, this much asset or this much amount of asset is going to get added to my organization, sorry, to my department, so that people can track it later on.
Understood.
Okay. So after filling all the specifications, what you will do, you can see the price is getting displayed accordingly, and also you are getting a quantity over here. So if you want to request for bulk, you can change the quantity, and obviously based on the quantity change, the total price over here will change accordingly.
Okay. So all of this gets associated to the cost center, right?
Not to cost center actually, it is just for the tracking purpose. Right now it is not linked to your cost center, but yeah, if your organization wants, the price can get associated to the cost center. You can create a field in the cost center table to store it. But out of the box, it is not working like that.
Okay, got it.
So let's see the next one over here. So let me click on order now, as in I'm going to place a request for this particular service after filling all the fields. So I'm going to click on order now. Let's see what happens over here. So you can see over here it is bringing me to this landing page, which has what? Which has got order placed. It is showing you the date when the order was placed. It is giving you some rough estimate when the product will be delivered. It is not the hard and fast this date only, but it is saying that roughly it will be displayed at that particular time.
Okay.
So what is next? You can see there is something called request got created. Whenever you place a record request, at a particular time you will see a request getting created. Let me open this in a new tab. And also there over here, sorry. Over here you can see a link. Let me open this as well. So you will be able to see a request got created for you, plus, let this one open, plus a requested item got created for you over here, correct?
Okay.
So one thing you can see it over here, that is a request is, a requested item is always associated to the catalog item which you selected.
Yes.
Okay. So a requested item will get associated to the catalog item. A request will only be like your shopping bag. For example, let's say when I go for shopping to any particular shopping complex or whatsoever it is, when you can purchase multiple products, but your shopping cart will be only one. The shopping bag will be only one. Similar is the case over here. That is, in one go, you can have multiple items, and individual item will have their tracking number by the requested item. That is RITM. RITM stands for requested item. But individual item have requested item, but the overall shopping bag will be converted to the request. So right now I only had one item in my shopping bag, so only one requested item got created and one request got created, but I can even add multiple items in one go.
So
let's see how we.
So in one request you can have multiple items.
Yeah, so let me show you that as well, just 2 minutes it will take. So let me go to service catalog this time, and I'm going to click on this service, let's say. I'll not click on order now, instead I'm going to click on add to cart, as in I'm adding this particular item to my shopping bag. So you can see in the shopping cart, it got added over here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to click on continue shopping because I want to add more items under it. So I'll click on continue shopping. And let me add suppose printer access as well. Again, I'll click on add to cart. So now you can see in the shopping cart after this, there are 2 items over here.
Yes.
What will I do now? So once I'm done with my shopping done, it is done, then I'll click on the proceed to checkout, means now the record is getting submitted. So now what you will see one request is there, and if I open this request, you will see under this request, both the RITMs will be there, which is associated to individual catalog items here. This RITM is associated to printer access. This one is associated to the Apple iPhone.
Understood.
And obviously it makes sense that when both the RITM is closed, then only the request will get closed. As in, let's say I only closed one RITM, that time the request will not be closed, only the RITM will be closed. When all the associated RITM of the request is closed, then only the request will get closed.
Understood.
So let's see the next one over there. So what is the next thing to understand over here is that, let me open the existing RITM, the one with a simple one. So over here, what am I going to do is, I'm going to try to see how the RITM flow goes in this particular case. Let's try that. So in the RITM, if you go down, you will see many a time, let's say I place a request for BlackBerry. So many a time your organization can have policy that whenever anyone makes a request, some people in the organization needs to validate the request, seeing that whether people are authorized to get that particular service for which they have made a request. Correct? Someone should be there who will validate whether you are authorized to get that service in the organization or not.
Yes.
So that will happen based on approval. So right now there was no approval, but it can be the case that approval record will get created saying that this particular set of people need to approve it, and only when those people approve it, then only the requested item will be delivered to the person. In this case it is not there, but yeah, it can be the case, it can be a feasible option over there.
Got it. Understood.
What is next over here? Let's see. So right now you can see tasks are getting created. So obviously for delivering a single product, there can be multiple team dependency. For example, one team will be there who will see whether the product is is there in the stock or not. One team will be there who will do the software configuration. One team can do the hardware configuration. So there can be scenarios like that where multiple teams are involved in getting you one single product. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. In that particular case, what you will do in the system, so individual tasks will get created, and obviously individual tasks will be assigned to individual team in the system who will do their respective work. And once each of the people work is done, each of the individual departments work is done, then finally the product will be delivered to the user.
So in this case, when you're creating a task, are these pre-created tasks, or can they be created by the person responsible? For instance, like we ordered a cell phone, right? So it goes to the stock. So for example, just for example's sake, it goes to this inventory people. The inventory people say, okay, there's a task created for them to check whether this is in the inventory. So when they check it, they say, okay, this is in the inventory, and now we're ready to ship it. So they create a task for the shipping team. Or is that verification of inventory, shipping of the item, and the activation? So these can be 3 tasks that can be created for this iPhone, right? Can these tasks be pre-created? Like for instance, they're already there and only get activated once the precondition is approved.
Okay. So for that, actually there is something called workflow. So right now, as you can see, I didn't create this task, so it was created automatically, correct?
Right.
Because in the back end for this particular service, a predefined flow is written saying that whenever people are making a request for this service, these set of tasks needs to be getting created. Okay. So there is something called workflow, which you as a developer, your client will give you the requirement that, okay, for getting a BlackBerry, you need an approval, you need 5 set of tasks. Maybe for getting a printer access, you only need 1 task, you don't need the approval. So your client, as a developer, your client will give you the requirement and you will design something called workflow. And what does workflow do? Workflow drives the entire flow from the backend.
Okay.
So you as an end user or you as a developer, you are not manually creating the task or manually creating the approval, but in the workflow you are defining that, okay, on this condition create this task, on this condition close the requested item, or whatsoever it is. So in that flow is written in the workflow. So workflow will drive the entire requested item.
Okay, got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
For example, let's take this task. So if I open this task, what will the technical team do? Obviously the team to whom this is assigned to. Right now it is assigned to the procurement team. So any member of this team will work on whatever ask is there. For example, the ask over here is order from vendor if it is not there, or otherwise move it from the in-stock inventory. So that particular team will do the work, and once the team work is done, what will they do? They will just close the task. Correct? So what, I'll assign it to myself. Let's say I'm the member of procurement, so I can assign it to myself, or if you are my manager, you can assign it to me for working. It can either be the case. Correct?
Correct. Okay.
So once my work is done, either I'll assign it to myself and then I'll click on assign, close task. So finally, when your work is done, we click on close task, saying that you have finished your work.
Okay.
In a real-time scenario.
I had a question on the previous screen. There was a check mark for active. What's the this active? What does this active check mark mean? Does it mean that this is active, like it's been actively worked on, or is this active like it can be seen by the end user?
See, if a record is active, then only it can be seen by anyone in the system other than the admin people. Admin means the developers like us.
Okay.
If it is not active, the record will not be seen by only be seen by the developers like us. It will not be seen by other people. And also, the task, the approvers, those will not be visible to the customers, to the end users, because that will not make sense to them. They will only be able to see what is happening on their requested item, what is currently happening in that. But they will not be allowed to edit the task or edit the approval, because they are just the customers. They are not the technical team that they should be allowed to work on it. And active field right now, you can see the moment it is changed, the status changed to close complete, the moment it gets updated, automatically the active will become false, so that the visibility is no longer there with people other than having admin rights.
Understood. Okay, got it.
And right now, because I am the admin guy, so that's why I'm able to close the task even though the task is not assigned to my group. But in a real-time scenario, actual people will work on these tasks. They will only close the task. Okay, so team A won't be able to see the task assigned to team B. Team A will only be able to see the task assigned to their group. So they'll only be able to work on the task which belongs to their group.
Understood.
Let me go back to the RITM. Let's see what is happening in this particular case. So what it says that it is awaiting delivery. So what is the stage? By that we can understand what is happening in the requested item right now. So what it says over here, it says it is awaiting for delivery order of the product. So let's see what is happening. So again, you can see another task got created. This is an open state. Let me close this as well. So again, this is assigned to field services group. So the member of this particular group will go and do the work, and finally they'll click on close task once their work is completed in the system. Right now it is for configuration. So you can see multiple tasks are getting auto created. Let me complete this as well. I can even do it from here. I'll just change the state of it to close complete. So it is doing the same step obviously. Sorry. I'll reload the page so that the requested item gets refreshed. It goes to the next task if it has to create one. So now you can see it created another one. Let me do this as well. And let me just save it. So now what you can see, automatically the stage got changed to close complete because that was the last task. So once that activity got completed, the system was smart enough to understand that, okay, all the activities are completed, means you can do what? You can just go ahead in the system and the system will automatically close the RITM.
Understood.
Okay. So now, obviously, once this is close complete, when it will get close complete, when the service is obviously delivered to the customer, whosoever has requested for the actual service over here.
Okay.
Now, so once this is clear, are you clear with the flow of RITM? I mean, that's how the service catalog flows.
Yeah. Understood.
Okay. Now, one thing to understand over here, some things to start before starting the scripting is, many a time I talk about people who are admin, people who are technical guy. Let's try to understand how these set of people are different. Okay. So let's go to user and let's first create a new one. So suppose I have to create a new user in the profile. I will type users in the left navigation and I'll go to user administration application. Under that, I'll go to users over here. So this is the module in which you will create or modify the user. So all the existing user will be visible over here. I'm just deleting these unwanted ones. There are some dummy ones created over here. Just one second. Okay. So what will I do? So first thing first is I'm going to create a new user. So I'll click on new over here. And first thing is the user ID field. What is user ID field? So within ServiceNow, user ID field can never accept the duplicate data. So generally in your organization, either you will give the employee ID as a user ID or email address as the user ID so that the duplicacy is not allowed over here. So if you try to enter a user already, which as in if you try to enter a user which stores the same user ID as an existing record, it will give you an error saying that the duplicate entry is not allowed in the user table. Okay?
Got it.
Let me give you a name. First name, last name is very much clear. You will give the first name of it, last name of it. So the name will be combination of first name and last name. So the name will automatically become Brother Test. If you want to fill all these department, password, blah, 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 you can fill it. So right now, let's say I'm creating a user profile for you. Obviously, you need to log in. So that time, what will I do is I'll give some dummy password over here and I'll check this checkbox called password needs reset. So what will happen is, once I'll share your user ID, how will you log in? You will log in by using your user ID and password. So once I share this with you, the first time when you will log in, the system will prompt you to reset your password because I have checked this password needs reset. So it will happen only for the first time when you log in with that particular password. It will ask you to reset your password. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay. If you want to give the email ID of your name and all those stuff, you can just give it all those configurations over here.
Right.
I'm just going to submit the
one question over here.
Mm-hmm.
So when you create a user, this is so just out of curiosity, this is where you can set the lockout option as well, or is that
when you log it out, you can log it out. But when a person is logged out, means that if it logged out is checked, it means the person will not be able to log in into the instance.
Mm-hmm. So say for example, if you attempt to log into ServiceNow multiple times, so the system automatically locks you out after 3 attempts.
Yeah.
This is where the admin will come in and uncheck it so the user can try again.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So now one thing you will see is once you create the user and then you go to the bottom of it, you can see you have a choice to add a role to the user. You have a choice to add a group, as in make this user as a member of a particular group, and so on and so forth. One thing to understand over here in role is that you will click on edit. Why? When you click on edit, it will show you all the role existing into the system so that you can add this respective one to your profile. Similar in group also, if you click on new means what? If you click on new means, just one second. Yeah. So if you click on new means what? You are creating a new group in the system. But if you want to add yourself in an existing group, you will click on edit. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's proceed further. So right now you can see I created a user who is not having any role, who is not having any group. So this is an end user right now. So when I say end user means he does not have any specific role of the technical guy or the admin. So that user is called the end user. He can belong to any other group. He can belong to any role, but he should not have the role of admin. He should not have the role of the technical guy. What all those admin and technical guy roles are, we'll see that after some time. Okay. Now, within ServiceNow, they have given you one more flexibility. That is, without even knowing the user ID and password of a person, you can log in as that particular person. So this becomes useful when you have to do the testing, correct? As in, let's say, in the dev instance right now, I have to test a functionality as in how the form looks, what are modules the user can see as an end user. Obviously, I need a credential, I need a account of the user to log in, correct?
Yeah.
But Servicenow says that no need to know that. You can do something called, you can impersonate to that user. Let's see how. So you can impersonate only when you have an admin credential. Normal end users can't do it. So either if you have the admin credential or if you have a role called impersonate, the impersonator role, there is a role whose name is impersonator, then only you can do that in the system. So right now you can see when I click on this, there is an option called impersonate user. It is coming because I do have impersonator role in my profile. So if I click on it, it will let me impersonate, it will let me log in as anyone else without knowing their password. What will I do? I'll type it in your name over here and I'll go over there. The moment you type in your name over there and you select the user, you can see right now it is refreshing the page for you, and the right hand side top of what it is showing you, it is showing you your name over there, correct? Means right now you are logged in as Badar in this particular account.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So now whatever things you are able to see, that is what an end user will be able to see. So you can see only one application called self-service they are able to see. What is collaborate? Ignore it for now. So only one application they are able to see, and under that obviously n number of modules are there in it. So end user can only see this particular option. So end user can create a service catalog. They can, if they go to incident, for example, they can only see the incident which has been created for them. So right now it doesn't show any data to you because you don't have any incident created explicitly for you.
Okay.
Okay.
But I
So
cannot create. I cannot also create any incident because I don't have that role.
No, you can do it. See, incidents and service catalog, anyone can create it.
Okay.
Change and problem, who will create problem? The people who have idea to know what all incidents are related. Then only the problem gets created, correct?
Correct.
So problem can be created only by the technical guy. Change can be created only by the technical guy. But incident means what? If you are facing an issue. So end user can also face the issue, correct?
Correct.
Anyone in the organization can face the issue. So that's why incident and service catalog can be created by anyone in the organization. There is no restriction on those kind of stuff. So if I click on new over here, I will be able to create an incident for me. The look and feel is different. What it is, we'll see that later. Right now you can understand it is a service catalog. This particular page I have designed for it. But finally when I submit it, it will create a normal incident on it. What it is and why it is working like that we'll see that later.
Okay.
So now if we go to incident, he will be able to see the incident of his. So you can see an incident is coming over here because he is the caller over here.
Got it.
Okay.
But there is an option where organizations may choose that end user cannot create incidents, because currently at my the bank, we were having the incident discussion today, and their I think Center of Excellence said that the business does not have the role to create incidents. If they need to create incidents, they have to call help desk.
It can be the case, as in that particular case, what you can do is, in the incident table, you can restrict the read access, write access, and all those things. You can do things like that. But out of the box, everyone can create an incident. But yeah, you can control. Let's say tomorrow your client says that no, I don't want to give the create access, as in I don't want normal people to do it. So in that case, there is something called access control. Using that, you can restrict it. It is feasible within the system.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So I want to impersonate back to myself. So what will I do? I'll again click on impersonate user. And the first name which is coming in the recent impersonation is the name with which you have logged in into the system. So click on it once, it will redirect you to that particular user. It will take you back to your own profile. And now let me go back again to the same user to show you some differences over here. So I'll go to user administration user. And open your account over here. And I want to make the same user a technical guy. How will a user become a technical guy? A user will become a technical guy if he has a role called ITIL in his profile. So I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to add a role called ITIL. So that is the minimum role it is required. It is not like only that role should be there. The user can have roles more than that. But if a minimum of ITIL role is there in that user profile, it means that user is a technical guy. So I'm going to save it. So what does it mean? What all applications can this user see right now? Any idea on that?
I'm sorry, come again. Question got missed over there.
Okay. So I'm saying once I add this particular ITIL role to the user, what all applications user will be able to see extra?
I believe they'll be able to see problem and change as well.
Yeah. And also the entire, so right now, when we impersonated back to that user, when he was an end user, he was only able to see his own incident, correct?
Yes. But in
But
this
now
case,
you are a technical guy. So you will be able to see other people incident also, because your technical guy means what? You have to solve incidents of others. So obviously you will be able to see incident record belonging to others as well, correct?
correct, yes.
So let me impersonate back to you. So let it load over here. So that time only service application was there, if you remember. And now, 1 second. What happened here? One thing, I think I need to refresh it. It didn't get loaded properly. So now you can see self-service plus, he can see incident, application, problem, change. Some other things are also there, but yeah, he can see those things. Plus he can also see the other requested items. Initially he was only able to see his requested item, but now he is the technical guy. So obviously he will even help other people to get their service offering delivered to him, as in he can have tasks assigned to him and all. So that's why he's even able to see the service catalog application.
Okay.
Okay. But he can only create a record or solve the record, but he can't do scripting. So there, all the scripting options are still not there. For example, if I show it to you, for example, the normal user configuration. So if I type users over here, nothing is getting displayed, because these are the configuration which admin people will do. So all the admin related stuff like creating a script, modifying a script, creating users, creating any other setup like creating a group, all those things are not exposed to the technical guy. Technical guy will only have option to work on the technical aspect of the day-to-day purpose of your organization.
Okay.
Okay, so let me again go back to myself. So we need to have this understanding, because many a time as an admin profile, if you are into admin, this becomes your job to add the specific roles to the specific people. So you need to understand that as well. Now, if you want to make the same user as an admin guy, as a developer, what you need to do, you need to do nothing but you have to add a role called an admin. So there is a role called admin. Any person having admin role is a super user like us. For example, if we go to your profile, so you will see a role called admin added over there. I go over here and click on edit. And what will I do? I'll select admin over here and I'll add it on the right hand side. It's still loading.
What's the difference between admin and ITIL admin?
See, ITIL admin means who have more access than ITIL, but they are still the ITIL people only. As in, for example, let's say there is something called knowledge article. We'll see what it is later. So many a time on the knowledge article creation, we give the restrictions saying that only the ITIL admin people should be able to do it. So they are super user of ITIL, but they are not admin. They can't do the scripting and all. They have more access than the ITIL. Maybe they are able to, maybe assign the task to some other group. They are even able to see the group or the task belonging to any other group. It can be the case. You can customize like that, but they are not people like us. They don't have access to do anything on the scripting side of it, on the setup side of it.
Okay, got it.
So there is a role called admin. So if you add admin over here, means now the person is able to see in and everything into the system. Okay, so now if you are important to that person, you will be able to see user, groups, everything will come over there. So are we good till here?
We're good, yeah.
Okay. Now, so this was about the basic concepts of users, different type of users within the system. Now, when we start development, before that, we also need to understand the term called update set within ServiceNow.
Called what?
Update set. I'll
Okay.
tell you what update set is. So think about a scenario that maybe I gave you a particular requirement saying that you have to push the data to a particular, as in do the development work in the dev instance and push the dev code in the production instance. So what you need to do that? In that particular case, let's say you wrote maybe 3 set of scripts in the dev instance and all the 3 set of scripts you have to move in the production. How will you do? One way is manually you will recreate all the codes in the production, correct? But in this particular case, it is quite possible that you will miss to do one of the steps. Correct? You will miss to do one of the steps. Because of that, what will happen? Obviously, unwanted results will come in the production, but the things were same in the things were correct in there. And so obviously you were confident enough that everything is working fine. You move the code to production or do the test, but unwantedly or by mistake, you missed one of the code. Because of that, the production failed, as in it started getting issues. So always it is said that whenever you are writing script, don't move the scripts manually. Instead do what? Instead use the concept of update set. What is update set? Let's see that. So first thing first is I'm going to create update set. How will I do? I'll go to local update set. So only the developers can create it because only the developers will do the scripting. So only they have an option to create an update set into your system. So I'll go over here. I'll click on new to create a new update set. Click on new over here. Let's say I give you a name. Any name I'm giving your update set. So means actually you will give some relevant name. Let's say I'm working on a particular release or a particular story. So I'll give that name in the update set name so that later on I can track that, okay, my this particular story or this particular release is captured in this particular update set. So right now I'm giving something dummy, but in a real-time scenario, you give something relevant so that you can understand what kind of work is captured in this particular update set. Okay. Whenever you are creating the update set, the state will always be in progress. What is next? Next is your release date. So if you know when this particular code has to go in production, you can select the release date, but it is not mandatory, it is optional. If you don't want to fill it, leave it empty. Next is your description. You define for what purpose have you decided this particular update set. So you can define that, okay, on this, for this particular release I did this, on this requirement I had to capture. Whatever sort of things you are doing it, you will give all those things over here in the description. Does that make sense?
So far, so good.
Okay. So now when you are done with defining the update set, there are two buttons over here. One is submit, means it will just submit the update set. One is submit and make current. As the name suggests, it will make this as the current update set. I'll click on this to make you understand what is happening in the system. Let me click on this. So the moment you will click on it, a pop-up window will come over here saying that your current update set has been changed to the update set name. So means now what is your update set? Your update set is this one, button right now, means now whatever change you will do in the system, it will get captured in this update set. So update set is used for what? It is used for capturing all the changes which you do in the system. So now when you have to move this code further, you will migrate the update set. How will you migrate? We'll see that. But you will not redo the stuff in any other environment, but directly you will move this particular update set to the desired environment in the system.
Understood.
Okay.
So say for
So
instance,
now how?
sorry, go
Mhm.
ahead.
Okay.
So say, for instance, if I want to make a change in my service catalog, right?
Yeah.
So if I create an update set, and what that update set is doing is recording all the changes I am doing in that particular module service in the application, and then once I'm ready to transport it to say a UAT environment for testing, I'll just
Mhm.
transport the update set and it will mimic exactly what I did here, right?
Correct, correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So at any point in time, let's say I'm confused, I'm not sure what is my update set, how will I validate it? I'll click on this gear icon on the right hand side top. If you can see this icon, I'll click on it. And I'll go to the developer tab. And over here in the update set, I'll validate whether my correct one is selected over here or not. If it is not, you will get all the update set over here to select which has the state in progress. You can't select an update set which is not in the in progress state. So that's why I told you that state should always be in progress of your update set. Then only your update set will be available over here, and when you select the update set over here, then only your changes will get captured over here in this particular update set.
Okay. So practically in progress means to start. So in layman's terms, when I'm creating an update set, the field in progress means start recording from now onwards, right?
Yeah, yeah. So right now, because if you can see, this one is having the state what it is having in progress, means you are saying it is you are not saying that only capture the changes. Even other updates set which are in progress, you can even use those. But yeah, this is available for capturing your updates. When it will capture, it will only capture. You can see right now if I do a show matching of in progress, it will show you multiple update sets are there in progress right now. So whatever one is selected over here in the developer tab as the update set, that is the update set which will capture your changes, whatever you do from now onwards till the time you change the update set to anything else.
But so just a question, right? Couldn't this be risky because at any given time I could have multiple developers making changes to the system?
Individual developers can have the option to select individual updates. As in the same instance, maybe right now I'm capturing my changes in this, and when you log in, you can change the update set. So it is not having for the entire system, but it is for individuals.
Technically, an update set that I create, it's actually only going to record my changes. It's not going to record changes made by you or changes made by Mr. X.
No, it is not the case. So whosoever is using this particular update set name, all the people's changes will get captured in it.
Okay.
So if me and you, if both of us have selected the same update set, both of our change will get captured in the same update set. But at the same time, both of us even have an option to use different update set.
Okay, and how do we select what update set we want to?
That's what, as in when you log in, if you are admin, then only you are making the change to the system. Then only you are doing any code change. So when you are admin, you have this gear icon next to you.
Okay.
So you can change the update set for you. So whatever update set you have selected, your changes will get captured in that update set. Whatever update set I have selected, my change will get captured in that particular update set.
Perfect. I understood now. Yeah. Okay. So this is where I can select
your update set as well.
Yeah. So this is where I can select what update set I want my changes to be captured in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
It shows all the list of update set which are in progress. It doesn't restrict that, okay, if you have created, it will not show the update set. It is not the case. Whosoever has created the update set, if it is in progress, I can select that over here.
Understood.
Now, one thing to understand over here is that there is one restriction in update set, that is, it can only capture the scripting and all. It can capture scripting, it can capture the layout changes, but it can't capture the record, insert or update. Means, if let's say I create a record in the incident table or I update the record in the incident table, it will not capture the record, insert or update. But if I change any code, if I write any code, or if I go to any layout and I do a right click change form layout, those things will get captured in the update set.
So basically it's not migrating any data.
Yeah. Why it is restricting that? It is restricting that because its understanding is that in the non-production environment, people do create dummy requested item, dummy incidents for testing. So obviously, those data should not be moved to the production because those are not the actual or the real-time data.
Understood.
So that's why the system restricts you from doing that.
Okay.
Now, what is next over here is that I'll just show you one thing. So right now, Bada test is my current update set. So if I go to the incident, let's just validate it. I'll go and I'll create a new incident fastly. So let me click on submit. So right now if I'll go to the update set, I'll go it over here. Under the customer updates, it shows what all it has captured. So right now you can see it is empty because I just inserted incident. It didn't capture it. But if I go to the same table, let's say, and my client comes to me and says that, okay, the layout doesn't look good to me. What will you do? Let's say if they say the list layout, this is called the list layout. Why? Because list of record is getting displayed over here. So this kind of layout is called list layout of any table. So if you have to change the layout for everyone, you will do a right click. You will click on configure and check on list layout. I'll click on it. Let's say maybe I'm adding anything, actual start if I add and I save it. So now this layout I have changed for everyone. But if you are making change only for yourself, how will you do? So if you click on gear and if you add something on the right hand side, let's say actual end over here. So this change when I do by clicking on the gear icon, it is local to me.
It is what?
This change does not get captured in the update set. Only when you are changing the layout gets captured in the update set.
Okay.
So this gear thing you have only there on the list view, but if you open an individual record of any table, it is called the form view of the table because you are opening a form of a table. So that's why it is called the form view of the table.
Okay.
Here you don't have gear icons to change the layout. You do have gear to do something else, we'll come to that later. But the layout and all you can't change. But if you change over here also, you go to right click, configure form layout. If you change the form layout, it gets changed for everyone. So again, this form layout change will also get captured in your update set.
Okay.
So if I go over here, if I add these things over here and I click on save, so this would have also got captured in your update set. So now you can see I brought actual start and actual end over here on the layout. This is a change which I did. So let's go to the update set and let's see what is happening over here. So if I go over here,
Now we'll see entries over there.
you can see I changed the layout, list layout, I changed the form layout. It also shows which table. So I changed it for incident. Who updated it? So right now I'm logged in as admin. So it is showing me that particular username over here. Is that correct?
Yeah, got it. Yes.
So now, how will you move this update set? Let's say I tell you that, okay, you have to push it to production. You can only push updates to production if its state is complete. So I'll change the state to complete. Let's say I have to move it now. So I'll change the state to complete manually and then I'll click on save or update anything. So once you update the record, as in once you change the state to complete, you will see in the related link. First thing first, on the top you can see your current update set has been changed to default because this was closed by you. So right now if you'll go to the gear icon and if you'll go to the update set, what it says default is the selected update set. So now whatever change you will do in the system, it will get captured in the default update set, correct?
Yes.
So now one thing to understand over here is that at any point in time, by default, until unless you explicitly create update set, everything gets captured in the default update set.
Okay.
So even when you do R&D work, when you try something, change some layout, everything is captured in update set called default update. So obviously the default update set data will be very huge. It will have millions and trillions of records, correct?
Yes.
So that's why it is never advised to complete the default update set and never ever migrate the default update set because obviously it will have unwanted changes. So never migrate the default update set.
Understood.
And by mistake, if you change the state of default update set to complete, Servicenow is smart enough to again create a duplicate default update set in the system. By default, only Servicenow will do it for you. Because the logic of Servicenow says that always there should be a default update set so that if nothing is selected means it has to be default update set. So if you have completed one by mistake, again another new one will get automatically created by Servicenow so that again the changes will get captured into this particular new update set.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
Now let's see how will I move it to the environment. So for moving it, I change the state to complete, and now I'll get an option called export to XML. I'll click on it. So actually what updates it does is it captures all the changes in the form of XML. So that's why after completing it, I clicked on export to XML. So now you can see this one got downloaded. So this one is capturing all the whatever changes I have done, it is getting captured in the format of an XML file. What will I do next? So next I have to move it to the production environment or whatever environment it is. I'll log into that particular environment where I have to move the code, and I will type in the left side retrieve update set. This one. Click on it. You have the source of file as what? You have it as a XML, correct? You download it. Right now I'm doing everything in the same instance, but obviously in a real-time scenario, this retrieve update set you will do it in production or the test environment wherever you want to move the code.
Yes. And you have that
So what will you do?
update set from XML, right?
Yeah. I'll select this one. I'm stopping the sharing. Let me just set the file over here.
I'm sorry?
No. I just stopped the sharing first for selecting the file. So right now I've selected the file over here. You can see thus this remote update set file is selected over here.
Okay.
So what will I do next? After choosing the file, you will click on upload. So the moment you click on upload, you will see your update set sitting in the state of loaded.
Loaded, right.
In the retrieve update set, you will see it under loaded state. Means what? Means this update set has been loaded into your system, but the changes in it has still not been applied to the instance. When will the change get applied? Let's see that. So after loading, I'll open the update set. And I'll click on what? I will click on preview update set. So when you click on preview, what it will do? It will do the compatibility check of the code in your update set with what is there in the system right now. It will see whether the system is compatible with the code there in your update set. For example, let's say in your update set you captured something which is update on the record, but when it came to production at the time of preview, it will see if your update set says it has to update the record, does the record already exist in production or not?
Okay.
Because the action was saying update, the action was not saying insert. So if it has to update, it has to exist in the system. What if the code was not existing in the system? So that time obviously it will return you error saying that at the time of previewing it will do the compatibility check and it will return you error saying that the record is not found in the system.
Okay.
So that time you will have two choices, either you can accept that customer update or you can skip it.
Okay, got it.
So now there was no error because I am doing the same thing in the same instance. So after it is done, after previewing it is done, what will I do? Once you click on commit update set, then the update set record are applied in the instance. So when you click on commit, then the changes will get committed into your system, means whatever changes are there in your update set will get applied to your system. So now your system will have the change which was there in your update set.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll stop the class over here. I'll not start designing it because we only have 5-10 minutes left.
Yeah,
so
no.
we'll do creating the service catalog tomorrow.
Okay.
So tomorrow we'll start as a developer. We'll start from how the service catalog is designed. From a client, when you get a requirement to design a new catalog in the system, how will you do that?
Okay, understood.
Tell me any query.
No. It's helpful. I am like actually following everything. So all questions I have, I asked during the session. So I'm good for now.
Okay.
I'm just waiting to like get into the development mode and understand
Yeah.
the scripting and all of that.
Yeah.
So
See, I'm covering all these things because you need to have clarity on roles and your update sets and all. Because for sure, as an admin or even as a developer, you might be using these at times because obviously whenever you are doing scripting, you need update set to capture it. Every company will use update set only to move their code. So you need clarity on all these stuff, how to move it, how to capture it and all. So that's why I was walking you through this.
no. I appreciate this. This is really good. It helps me. So I appreciate this. No, this is good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, then we'll start scripting tomorrow then, okay?
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Hope you have a nice day.
You
Bye-bye.
you too have a good day. Bye bye. Thank you, Srinivas. Bye bye.